Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to follow up our first session with a mini lecture just to cover um, some information that we didn't have a chance to get to, but I felt was important just to help orient you to what is entrepreneurship. So stick with me for a few minutes and we'll cover a few topics here. First of all, what is entrepreneurship? Think about it. Some people think of Steve Jobs. Some people think of the mom and dad down the road who have a sub shop or have say a laundry cleaner or something like that. Other people may have other definitions such as startups that are up in Silicon Valley. Uh, Working for the software business or the latest app or whatnot. But I would like to put some clarity around what is entrepreneurship. And I think the first two places I want to know some definitions. And first from Professor Stevenson at Harvard points out that it's the pursuit of an opportunity with regard to resources currently controlled. And when I think about it, it does make a lot of sense because when you're starting with nothing pretty much, and maybe an idea. And you don't have necessarily resources. You have to go out of your pocket or have friends and family kick in, and then you have to go look for venture or angel support to help build out your idea. But you have to have you have to understand the market, you have to have a fit of your product and market. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And you have to have a good story for them. But I like this other definition by Professor Morris, which is a process for creating value by bringing together a unique package of resources to exploit an opportunity. And I think that this, as we get into talking about the processes of customer discovery and validation of your minimum viable product, I think this will be probably more appropriate. But then again, you're going to start with nothing and you're going to have to build something from nothing. So that's really exciting. What it isn't is a field of dreams. And I see this many times, especially with folks who come from the sciences. They have a great app. They have a great engineering product already set. They have a great pharmaceutical or biotech product. And I've seen this even down over at some incubators down in San Diego where folks will have the app. It isn't that you have the solution and that you're going to try to push it in the market. And I see this a lot in the tech business and engineering business where basically you're trying to find a market that fits the product. But rather, what I want to point out is the process really is about finding the right fit to the needs of your customer. And we'll talk about that a little further. To the product that you are now developing, most minimal product to fit this. And this is a concept that Eric Gasser, who's an investor, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's vice president of tech assessment at Tech Coast Angels in San Diego, puts. The reason why so many startups do not get funded is because they lack product market fit. And then Chris Dion, who is he's a principal actually with Gerson and Associates, which is a marketing agency that focuses on startups and helping them prepare for their seed funding and for their A, B, and C rounds of funding, and really bringing some excellent marketing strategies and tactics. He points out that the top reason why startups do not get traction or funding is, one, they can't identify the right customers, and two, they can't tie the right value to the customer. So I think this is very key in contrast to what people think about the field of dreams. So keep this in mind. This is going to be a very, very important theme as we go through this class. So what it's going to take, first is you need to find the problem, okay, and understand that problem. And then you got to solve the problem. Now, one of the things is that we have to think about our focus here, which is really opportunity identification and validation. And really what this is all about is we are bringing together this unique package to exploit an opportunity. And the opportunity is really through customer discovery and understanding your customers and understanding their needs, their desires, their pains, their life. And that search and that constant interviewing of different types of customers and the iteration that goes through. And so those who have taken lean methodology or agile project management knows that it's an iterative approach. Because why? We're learning, we're taking guesses, we're going out, we're running experiments, and we're learning. And we're discovering what's the opportunity. And then what we're doing is that we're looking at what is the solution, what's the minimal solution to exploit that opportunity. And that's called the minimum viable product. So we're going to bring that together. And we're assuming at the end of the day that you know how to exploit the opportunity. And this course will be one way to be able to help develop those skill sets that are there. So here's an example, okay? Cool product, right? Okay. And I think on Monday, what we had with the app exercise, we saw that we had a number of cool products. And they came out of pains that you all had, or desires that some of you had. But the question is it a common core shared need or desire? And so that's what really creates that opportunity. It's not just what you think that's important, what broader your team feels, but then getting broader in terms of your target market. And we're going to be exploring that through this course. So I think one other concept to bring out is unit of desire versus unit of need. So what's a unit of desire? Well, most would think it is an iPhone, okay, the latest version. It's something that you desire. I call it game creator. It's something that at the end of the day, it's like I get a new jacket because I look really cool in it, or I buy a Porsche because it drives fast. That's a desirable thing that I want. I buy the product to satisfy that desire. That's different from a unit of need. Unit of need is really what we call a problem solver or a pain reliever. And think about it. You have a headache. You reach for an aspirin. You have an infection. You go to the doctor to get an antibiotic to relieve the infection and address that infection. So, the unit of need is about pain, whereas a unit of desire may be more about gain or something that enhances who you are. So this is just something to think about as we do discovery based on what type of product and service that you're trying to identify that would be a need out there. So I'm going to just close out in terms of what's need to be an entrepreneur. I think there's 6 common themes that are here. And having been an entrepreneur now for the last 15, 16 years, a few different businesses, I think that these really hit home. First and foremost is there has to be commitment and determination. If you think that you're just going to roll out the red carpet with your new product and the money is just going to flow in, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be able to be committed and determined to set up your business, to understand the problems, engage customers that understand them, and not only understand those problems, understand what their desires are as well, and realize there are going to be points in time when it might be scary. The business may not be as successful as you want. So you have to be able to persist. Second of all is being a true entrepreneur is really being a leader. You have to have vision. You have to have confidence. You have to inspire and motivate your team. You have to inspire and motivate your investors. So leadership is a very, very key thing. And you have to be obsessed. And I think Steve Jobs is probably the quintessential individual who is constantly obsessed over opportunities. And so you need to be obsessed about looking for what the right opportunity is that we can exploit. And with that, you need to be tolerant of risk and what I call gray areas, okay? Not everything is going to be clear. You may be used to working a job that has a set of hours, that set tasks. Being an entrepreneur will have a lot of gray in terms of what your day is going to look like. and what activities that you're going to need to do, and what the outcomes are going to be. And I even see this today as I run my own business. There are periods where we are just running very hard and we are just having the greatest time with a lot of business. And then there's periods where there's question marks, just gray periods that go through because markets change, customers change, their needs change. But you have to be confident in yourself. And that gets to, you have to be creative, adaptable, and self-reliant. It's about you as the entrepreneur if you're going to persist and be successful. And at the end of the day, you got to be motivated to excel. If you're in this just to do it, I'm going to just say with half a glass, then being an entrepreneur really is maybe not the best fit. But if you are a person who is motivated to excel and be successful and willing to put in maybe more hours than you would ever do in any other job, then there's no better job out there. So these are some common themes to just think about as being an entrepreneur. I've covered some things already relative to entrepreneurship, which we'll learn further. So I'm going to always encourage you to get out of the building, get out of the classroom, and start exploring. Fit the value. You need to seek the value and search for that value. So good luck. Here's to your success. I look forward to seeing you in class 2.